Ochido and I'm your host Ochido. So today I feel a bit anxious, like, ooh, I have so much to do, and I'm dedicating. Well, in my country, our president, just immediate past president, passed on at 82 years old. So there's a sort of like a mourning period. Flags are half mast, and today has been declared a public holiday. However, no public holiday for me. Two things are happening today, two awesome things. So today is my two sons are both born the same day, 12 years apart. One made me a mom, and one shut the door to ended my mom baby making career, you know. So today is their birthday, so we have a lot to do. I'm just gonna run through the Bible stories today, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, that said, today is quite interesting as well. If you're joining me for the first time, thank you for joining me. My name is Ochido, and I cover the Bible cover to cover this year. I'm covering it this year. I'm reading the Bible, and I'm encouraging those who watch me to also read the Bible along with me. I have so much to say. I feel anxious. Okay, so I'm doing this because I want to get to know God more. I want to know where the stories in the Bible are listed. I want to test the theories. I want to discard things that I not believe. I want to encourage those who are out there to read. I want to draw my own conclusions. And it's fine if you don't agree with my conclusions. You go check it out for yourself. That said, every day we use to study the Bible using this guide. Every day we look at an Old Testament, a New Testament, a Psalm, and a Proverb. And the scriptures are always left in the description box below so that you can follow us. So the trick is, if you follow us all three, if you follow episode by episode, you would have covered the Bible by the end of this year. Today is day 196. We're making great progress. We have 169 days to go. 96 and 69. Okay, all right. So today we're looking at Chronicles 19 to 21, to chapters 21. We're finishing Romans 24, and we're looking at, so because it is easier for me to read Proverbs, I'm going to start with that, and I'll just be reading it, nothing else. Proverbs 19, 10 to 12. Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less for a servant to rule over princes. Ooh. The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook a transgression. The king's wrath is like the roaring of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. Okay, so now, every time I tell the stories, I retell the stories, and then I demonstrate sometimes. And then I share my insights if I have any, good or bad. All right, so First Chronicles takes us. David has been established now as king, and his fame had grown. He was popular, and everybody hailed him. He kind of like was what you say reigning, right? I see you, say something. I'm saying hi. All right, so he was kind of like reigning. So something weird happened. A guy called King Nashan, one of David's allies, died. His son, what's his name? Hanun is his son's name. So David wanted to, condole the family and send some ambassadors to Prince Hanun, or now King Hanun, to commiserate with him on the death of his father's passing. Only for the ambassadors to arrive, and for some weird reason, King Hanun's officials, they decided to pick a fight with them. They made fun of David's ambassadors. They cut their beard, like they shaved half of their beards, and then they went to their outfits and cut where their bumbum areas. They cut the robe. They cut the robes, the bumbum area of the robes, so that they were naked. And then they sent them away. Which kind of wahala be this now? What did I do to deserve this? Like, King David, me? I just sent these people to commiserate with you. I took you gifts. I just wanted to tell you that we are there with you. You are my friend. Why would you behave like this? Maybe they were drunk that day. I don't know. Anyway, when David hears of it, because they call him, and he says, okay, stay in Jericho, don't come. Because in Jericho is a metropolitan city. People go around there without beards. People probably wear sleeveless outfits and maybe knickers. Back in the day, that must have been a big deal, right? So stay in Jericho till your beards grow out. Because to the Israelites, having a beard was like a sign of manhood. So having their beard shaved by some tyrant king, no, we're not gonna accept that. Anyway, David is minding his business still. I will deal with this matter. I don't understand what has happened. But the king of what's that? King Hanun decides that, okay, so David is upset. I hear that he's upset. We can't wait for him to pick a fight with us. We have to take the fight to him. So they spend money. They spend about 75,000 silver pieces to pounds to buy chariots, to hire people, mercenaries to come and fight for them, and 32,000 pieces to buy chariots. And then they went and camped at a place. So David was like, I'm just trying to mind my business. These guys are looking my trouble, and they don't even know who I am. Anyway, Joab, go and deal with this. So Joab goes and handles them, and they flee. So David scores one for David, 0 for King Hanun. Time passes. Hanun decides, oh, I need more people. So I think Hanun just felt, that in my country they will say initial gragra, the kind of courage and boldness, and sometimes the word escapes my mind, but that kind of brash, braggadocious behavior when you become king. He's finally king. He's not even making any wise decisions. He wants to pick a fight with David, like the big dog in the area, possibly because he wants to become big dog. So he says, okay, we're going to fight some more. He goes and hires Ammonites. I think he's an Aramean. He goes and hires Ammonites, and he says, you guys come and join me. I want to pick a fight with David. They go and camp. So, and then they hire many kings. So all these kings, they band together to fight David. Joab, a very seasoned soldier and the chief of David's army staff, go to war along with his brother, who is like the chief of the 30, David's like inner circle, top bodyguards. Abishai, hello girl. Hello German girl, good to see you. So David's inner bodyguard. Abishai is Joab's brother, but is the head of the bodyguard, So not bodyguard, Benaiah is, Haman is among the top 30, like, warriors. Yes, that's right. So they go and then they band together and they try to fight. Of course, they also defeat them. They defeat them. They killed a lot of the soldiers, like 7,000 foot soldiers, 12,000, just basically went on rampage with them. So the kings ran away, and they were like, we can't really, what were we even thinking? We can't fight David. Let's just go, And see, sir, please don't give us any more money. We've tried. We lost. We can't lose more army to this guy that's clearly stronger than you. You must be out of your mind. So anyway, they go back. So by and by, David, of course, more whatever. So more wars, more victories, and they continue to narrate. So at spring, Joab led more successful war campaigns, while David stayed back to dethrone kings at Rabbah. He seized the crown of the king, put it on his head. It was a very heavy crown. They described the crown. I didn't bother to take note. I didn't bother to put it in my notes, how the crown was described. Taking vast plunder, enslaving the people. They also fought with Philistines. So let me tell you a story about the Philistines. You remember that David came to fame because he killed Goliath, right? The giant from Gath. The Philistine giant from Gath. Well, David had already done that. So now it's been done. So David's nephews begin to conquer giants, So there were 3 main descendants of Goliath that David's nephews and his other people killed. So 3 of them, they listed them here. They said, Bekai killed Saph, one of Goliath's descendants. Hanan killed Lami, Goliath's own brother, and Jonathan, David's own nephew, Shimei's son. Shimei is David's 3rd brother. Kills his what's Goliath's brother's name now? All right, so David's nephew kills Goliath's brother Lami. So that was kind of victory. David, I mean, his story must have been wild. They were like, David, you go, David. Anyway, Anyway, I wrote here, all inspired by David's skill. That tells me something, that once somebody has crossed a certain line, you give others permission to also pursue their own destiny. So David came out as a young teenager and killed the giant. Now, other younger people, well, not younger, but people like him are also taking down giants. Anyway, then the Bible wrote here that Satan entered into the heart of David to take his census. I have tried for the life of me to understand why that was a crime against God, but God was terribly displeased with it. And Joab too, because Joab was like, "What are you doing? Why?" His chief of army staff was like, "Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I got it when I went to the UK." I got it when I went to the UK. All right. So Joab was like, "Why are you doing this? This is crazy. Don't." And David is like, "Don't ask me. I don't want to hear your opinion. Just do what I say." Why? Because I say so. So Joab goes and counts everybody except the Levites who don't go to war and the Benjamites who were the family of Saul. And so it upset God. David counted Joab counted 1.1 million Jews in Israel and then 470,000 in Judah. But it displeased God. So the prophet Gad came and met him and said, "Sir, you have upset God. And now God is giving you 3 punishments. Number 1, choose if you want 3 years of famine, choose 3 months of war or assault. They put there, die by the sword, or 3 days of severe plague." So David is like, "Oh, I'm desperate. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, everybody, thank you. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Oh God, what was I thinking? Okay, I've weighed it. It's better for me to fall into God's hands because, man, I really kind of, if God gives human beings permission to deal with me, they will not spare anybody. The entire country will be ravaged. And 3 years of famine, we're all going to die. So, God, please just do the 3 days of plague. Before the first day, 70,000 people had died of some sort of plague. David panics and starts praying. And then God now says, "Okay, all right. The angel," so David in his prayer, he saw a vision. He saw an angel with a sword, like up in the sky, between the heavens and the earth. And his sword was raised as though to strike Jerusalem. And if he did, probably there were like maybe hailstones or earthquakes or whatever, but it would have. So David cried out to God. So God told the angel to stop. And then David said, "I'm the one who sinned, God. Please stop. This is going too much. I felt I could handle it. I can't. I'm the one who said, please deal with me and my family." Why can't you just say deal with me? What's wrong with these old rulers? What do you mean deal with me and my family? Who asked you? Hey, I see you, Khalifa. Who asked you? What do you mean deal with me and my family? Why can't you just say, "Lord, I'm the one who's sinned, deal with me"? Why would you rope your family into all of that drama? Anyway, so God says, "Okay, I hear you. God, go back and tell him that he has to sacrifice something to me." So quickly God tells him and he says, "Great. So welcome. I'm covering the Bible stories, reading it story by story, chapter by chapter every day for the next 365 days. So you're welcome to join. Yeah. Okay, so David goes and then so it's like, "Okay, so I can sacrifice to God and stop all of this." The prophet says, "Yes, you can." So he says, "Okay, I saw the angel in my vision above Aruna's threshing floor. So I'm just going to go there and sacrifice. I live in Nigeria. I'm just going to go there and sacrifice." So he goes there and then Aruna is there. He explains to Aruna, "This is why I'm coming here. God, blah, blah, blah. So I need your threshing floor for the sacrifice." So Aruna is like, "Ooh, the king visits me. All right, fine. Take anything you want. I'll give you as many cattle for the sacrifice. I'll give you my..." David is like, "No, I will never sacrifice anything that cost me nothing. I'll pay for this." And David paid 60,000 pieces of gold. That must have made Aruna really, really rich. Yes. And he sacrificed there and he put a stop to the plague. So what I took away from here is that, first off, Please don't be so magnanimous and drag your family into your own personal problems. You're the one who has an issue with God. Rock it out with God. Don't involve us. Okay? We're minding our business here. But number two, God is actually merciful because he knew that God will pity him. He knew that God would change his mind. So there are many things that are happening in the world today. There's a wild spread of evil, corruption, badness. God is giving us time to change our minds. God is giving us time to change our minds. It's not like he's powerless or he doesn't see what's going on. He's giving a lot of the bad people time to change their minds. And that's what I feel like happened here. So even though God punished David, he still kind of like found a way to stop the plague before the 3 days. Okay, just like David said he would. It's better that I fall into God's hands than actually fall into the hands of cruel men. All right, so let's round up as we look at Romans 2:24. Red lips. Thank you very much. We're looking at just a few, I think about 10 to 12 scriptures. So this is Paul still making a case for the Jews. Paul was basically talking to the Jews, and the Jews were like, "We are the righteous people. We know it all. You guys don't know anything else. All those other tribes, all those other nations are godless nations. We are the Jews." So Paul has been at it for the last 2 days with the Jews. So this is what he says. So you guys consider yourself circumcised people, so you think you're better than other people? Circumcision is only valuable if you obey God's laws. Mr. People, Mr. Jewish community, else you are just like an uncircumcised Gentile. And if Gentiles obey God, who's to stop God from calling them his own, right? A true Jew is of a circumcised heart, and not just because he passed through a circumcised ceremony. So a true Jew is supposed to be someone who has been circumcised of heart and who follows and obeys God's law, is kind to other people, does not backbite, does not steal, does not kill, and all of those things. Yes. Such a heart seeks after God's praise. Such a heart seeks God's approval, and not approval of men. So what's the advantage of being a Jew then, if you might ask? Paul is back and forth, back and forth. So this is a letter. Oh, no, I'm not a pastor actually. I'm not a pastor. I'm an architect. I run an architectural firm, yes, interior design. Maybe if you come to Nigeria, you'd see what I'm doing. But if you check me out on Instagram, you might see what I'm doing as well. I run a proper architectural firm. I'm a PhD researcher. But this is me reading the Bible, and I decided to share it with an audience. You understand? So I'm reading through the Bible, getting to know more about the Bible, and I'm sharing it with another. That's what this is about. Yes. Yes. So I'm a woman of faith. Yes. All right. So he says, so what's the advantage of being a Jew? Well, you have been entrusted with the revelation of God. So I guess that's a big deal. Yeah, that's a big deal. If you have the true revelation of the true God, right? Yeah, so some people were unfaithful anyway. Some people were unfaithful. But that doesn't mean that God remained unfaithful just like they were. So let everything see. So God is true and righteous. Every other person around him is lying. In other words, whatever God says, that's true. And whatever we say is a lie when compared to the truth of God's words. So whatever you have chosen to believe of yourself is a lie when you compare it to the truth of God's word. Let everyone else be a liar and let God be true. Scriptures declare this about God. You will be proved right and win your case in court. And one of the things that I have understood is that there's a whole legal, like they describe a lot of these matters of God from legalistic, like from a lawyer's perspective. I guess because Paul is a lawyer, so he uses a lot of lawyer illustrations to drive home his point. So he says, you will win your case in court. But you say, doesn't our sins shouldn't matter. After all, our sin should prove that he's righteous. I mean, the fact that we're in so much sin, it shows how righteous he is. That shouldn't offend God now, should it? Why are we being punished for being human after all? Didn't God put these things in us? So why isn't not reacting to the sins that we commit? We're just making him, we're just showing how good he is. So Paul says, it's unfair for God to punish us. So Paul says, oh, God isn't unfair. If God weren't fair, God is actually fair. So you accusing him of being unfair is not entirely right. God is actually fair. And he can't judge the world if he's not fair. But our dishonesty But then the people continue to argue, but our dishonesty should show his truthfulness and bring him more glory. The more we sin, the better it should be, shouldn't it? And Paul is like, you guys, whoever says such a thing deserves condemnation. You guys are too much. Like, really? Is this how your mindset is? This is a terrible mindset. This is a terrible mindset. And so Paul is arguing and arguing, and that brings to an end the second chapter of the book of Romans. That brings to an end the second chapter of the book of Romans. Okay, so let's see how Paul continues to make his arguments tomorrow. All right, so I'll see you then. For those who are curious, yes, I'm a believer. I think I became born again 2nd February 1998 while I was still 18. And I had never, for a long time, I went to church trying to understand my newfound faith. I was born in, where many of us are either Christians or Muslims in Nigeria, and then there's a small body of people who are traditional pagan worshippers. However, anybody who went to like a formal school and everything would align with one of these two religions. So I aligned with Christianity, but I didn't really understand what that was about until I became born again. And even after I became born again, I continued to develop my faith in God. So that's where we are right now. I challenge you to read the Bible yourself. You'll be like, whatever it is I'm sharing here, you are going to see another perspective to it, and you are going to tell me yourself. So if you do, please leave a comment and let me know. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button, and I'll see you tomorrow. So thank you for everyone who joined, and yes, thank you, Khalifa, for your kind comments. You're welcome to join us tomorrow and every other time by turning on your notification button to know when next I go live. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.